Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and today I want to show you the Spellbinders December 2022 club kits that I have and that I will be crafting with this month. I don't get everything, but I'll show you what I do have in case you're interested in any of these club kits. So off the top here we have the embossing folder of the month, and this is really lovely. So hopefully that helps you see the pattern. So it's hearts, and they overlap, and they kind of have a geometric feel in how they've overlapped, and so it's a little abstract. And I do think you would probably want to use it in this orientation. It doesn't quite look right when I rotate it, but you know, you could probably make it work. It just depends on your design. And I always check for that. I always check to see if these folders can be used, especially this way, because I tend to make cards that are US A2 in size. And so the beauty of these folders is that they are 8.5 by 5.5, so you can actually get two US A2 size panels. If you just cut your US letter sheet of paper in half, you can run it through like that, and then cut down the center, and you're gonna have two panels, and for one pass through your die cutting machine. So really lovely that. So that's our embossing folder of the month. Then check this out. This is the clear stamp, and you do have the option to get the coordinating dies as well, and that is an option. So you can either get just the stamp by itself or the stamp and dies together, and I feel like it's well worth it to get, especially this month's dies. You could use standalone as well. They coordinate perfectly to cut out these stamped images, so the letters of that spell out the word love, and these two really lovely decorative sort of heart designs. So this one is all florals, and then this one says "to my forever person." Really beautiful sentiment. And so these two heart dies will coordinate to cut those two patterns out, but then you also get the letters that spell out the word love. Bear in mind though that they're kind of different sizes, so, and I think that's just the design of it, because if you look, the O is a little bit smaller, and so I think it is meant to kind of nestle into that area there. So really lovely, and I feel like this might be a fun one. The florals I feel like are a little bit small for me to color in with the sentiment here. This one I think would be lovely to color. I struggle with small areas, fine detail like this, so I would be tempted to maybe emboss this and see how that looks. And then you could emboss it onto some colored cardstock and then die cut. So I think that might be an option I try. The besides those stamps, you do also get some additional sentiments. So we have I love your big heart, I love us, you are always on my mind, you're the one for me, and how did I get so lucky? So this being December's club kits, you can maybe guess that this is very themed towards Valentine's Day, so you can get a head start on your Valentine's Day makes. But I do feel like these sentiments they're just great. Like, you don't have to wait for Valentine's Day to tell your loved ones that you love them, and so I kind of feel like these are good general purpose as well, especially this one because it doesn't even have a sentiment kind of built into it. It's just a really lovely pattern. So that is the clear Stampin' Die of the month, and I do want to call out, if you didn't already notice, there aren't dies to cut these smaller sentiments. So just keep note of that, because often with the clear Stampin' Die of the Month, the coordinating dies, there are coordinating dies for the sentiments, but I think that's because most of these are just one line and very simple like strips. This is the only 2-line sentiment. So that might be why. But I think the fact that you get some pretty universal dies more than makes up for that. So that is our clear Stampin' Die of the Month. And then looking at our small die of the month, we have this lovely pattern here. And so you have this largest die that is rather a really nice size. So this is about 4 3/4 of an inch in this direction, because I think you can use, no, it's meant to, yeah, I think it does have a definite orientation if you use it all layered and combined this way. And then 3.5, so 4 3/4 tall by 3.5 wide. And so this is going to be really, really lovely. So this by itself, you could use landscape or portrait, because you could have this sort of decorative and there's no real correct orientation for it. But it does have this really nice sort of a soft zigzag with a little bit of deboss detailing on the edge there. So that's really fantastic to use on its own, just as a nice matte layer on your card. And if you want, you can layer this die. Now this does have an outside cutting edge. So this will cut out a full panel, and it'll have all this lovely sort of diamond detailing here. The heart portion here, there is no inside cutting edge. So this won't be an aperture. This will be cardstock. It's going to be attached because there are gaps in the cutting line. So that's wonderful. If you want to then use this die, which has all of that pierce design for stitching. And so this does have a complete outside cutting edge. So you can use this in 2 ways. You can use this die to cut out of maybe a different color cardstock, do your stitching, and then layer that into here. Or you can use this die to cut an aperture out. So you cut this, run these 2 cutting plates through at the same time, or you can cut this panel out first if you're not comfortable with doing that. You can cut this out first, position this die in here, in the solid section here, and that's going to get you this heart piece will pop out, and then you'll have an open area here. And that way, if you wanted, you could maybe make a shaker card. So that might be something fun to experiment with. So really nice. So you can use this in 2 ways, to get a panel that you layer on top, or use this as a die to cut out that inner aperture. So you've got those, which are lovely. And then we have some sentiment plates here. So really nice banner with double fishtail ends. And they look to be debossing plates, so meaning they will indent your card where those letters are. So there are 3 different sentiments. We have Hey Sweetie, Forever Mine, and Love You. And these plates do fit inside here. So if you wanted, you can tape these together and then run it through at the same time, so that you have your sentiment banner already cut out and debossed with the sentiment inside. So that's available as an option. Or Here's the other reason why I think we didn't get the dies to cut out these sentiments, because look, they fit perfectly inside. Even the longest one will fit, and for the little small short one here, you could always cut once like that, and then shift your die down, and then trim off the other end so that you get that lovely double fishtail end, but you can just cut it down to size. So, you know, I know that this die doesn't come with the clear Stampin' Die of the Month, but if you do get any of the value bundles where you can get multiple club kits at a better price point, these two coordinate really well together, just having that banner die. And maybe you'll have a lot of other banner dies that would fit too. I think it's a nice small size. Maybe some of your Glimmer plates that come with, you know, those rectangle banner dies would have a banner die to cut those out too, if you don't want to trim it by hand. So that's the small die of the month. Then check this out. This is the large die of the month. Look how big that heart is. Isn't that gorgeous? And I like the shape of this heart. It feels a little bit different. It feels like more full, which I think is kind of cool. And different from anything that I have. So this is 4.5. Wow, that's big. 4.5 wide. And so if we go from guesstimating the tip of the bottom, it's about 4 inches tall. So beautiful, beautiful, lovely size that. And you get a lot of, you know, this is a little bit reminiscent of the small die of the month from last month, where you get the one die plate that sort of cuts you out maybe like a background layer, and we have 2 floral sprays like that. But then you have a lot of these individual dies that you can then layer on top to add more dimension, to add different colors to your floral spray. So this, for example, these 2 dies look like they would fit into this area here and that area there. So that's where those would be layered, I feel. And then this might layer onto here. And this die is really cool. It's got some deboss detailing too. So really, really neat. I think there's going to be a lot of fun ways to kind of mix and match. And then there's a combination of 2 here that are the same floral shape. I think they're meant to go here. One actually cuts into your card this lovely sort of detail to kind of suggest the different petals of the flower. And then the other is an outside cutting edge. Then you have these, which I think are the centers of your flowers. And so, yeah, really, really lovely. And then some more flowers on the back here. I think it's gonna be really fun to play with this. And yeah, that definitely reminds me a lot of the small die of the month from November. And then we get some sentiment dies, word dies, with love. And you know, this font, it's larger, but it reminds me of the Christmas sentiments from the small die of the month that we got. I kind of remember that sort of diagonal line for the T's, and this E just sticks out because I remember die cutting the word greetings from that small die of the month from October, was it? So that's our large die of the month. Really fantastic. I don't have with me right now the APG die of the month. I might be getting that later. So you may see me craft with it, or you may not. Just depends on whether or not I get it. But I do have the Glimmer of the month, which, look at this. It's just gorgeous. So really, really lovely. There's this almost like a wreath in this heart shape. And then you get a solid heart. And then you get this scalloped border heart. Those are your Glimmer plates. And it looks like we have a Glimmer sentiment that reads, "Love you always." I think this is a debossing plate, sending hugs. I don't think that's a Glimmer. It's not as thick. And then this is another deboss, which reads, Happy Valentine's Day. And you'll note that it's curved to fit with this curved fishtail banner die. So really, really fantastic that we get the, especially with Glimmer plates or dies, you can't, unlike a stamp, so you could take, for example, you could take this stamp and then sort of bend it to this curve if you wanted, and then stamp your sentiment on that. But you don't really have the option to do that with metal. So it's nice that we get some two different sentiments. And I'm guessing that "Love You Always" is going to fit sort of inside this more or less straight section of the curved banner. So you have that die. Then we have some additional dies here that will cut out some leaves and some flowers, which you can layer on top of your glimmered wreath here, or just add as accents to your sentiment. And then there are dies that will coordinate to cut out some of the hearts. Now, this large wreath does not have a coordinating die, so bear that in mind. But the two dies that we do get are pretty general purpose. Again, just, similar to what I was saying with these, they're pretty general purpose. And I think if you do get both sets, they are going to be differently sized. So let's take a peek. So yeah, let's see. Oh, actually, check that out. This is pretty close in size. Are they identical? Okay, so these two are identical. Oh, that's a little bit of a bummer. Only in that if you get multiples, sometimes it's nice to have multiples of the same dies, but I always tend to enjoy having more versatility. But this heart, the smaller of the two hearts, will cut out your glimmer, your solid glimmer, and then the more scalloped heart will, of course, cut out your scalloped border glimmer. So really, really nice. I wonder if, I think this might foil all the way to the edge of your die. No, it sits inside the cutting edge, so you're gonna have a little bit of your cardstock showing all the way around. But so it's really nice to have the coordinating dies, and I can kind of see why they can't fit another bit of metal to give us a die to cut out the largest one. So there we have those, and so really, really lovely set. And again, kind of nice to get some basic dies. Both the banner and the two heart dies, I think, are just kind of really nice basic shapes that you can use outside of the glimmer plates here. And really love, again, if you do get multiples of these club kits, that, like I said, even though usually the clear stamp and die of the month does have dies that will cut out your sentiments, this is just another option. So if you are getting multiples, you have sort of your straight banner and you have this curved banner, which you can always curve your stamps to kind of match that. So really, really lovely club kits as always this month, and of course fantastic for Valentine's Day. And so when I craft with these goodies, I will be sure to link to that video at the end of this one. But you can always find all of my Spellbinders videos in my Spellbinders playlist. So that's where you can go to find not just my flip videos of the club kits, but also the regular core releases from Spellbinders as well. Anytime I craft with products that feature something from Spellbinders, I'll be sure to add that to that playlist. Thanks so much for joining me today, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye!